is your Energy Podcast. My name is Linda Lange. I am your host and energy expert. Today's episode is gonna be a little bit of a different format. I titled this a coffee chat. I have my cup of coffee here and I want to share with you a little bit more why I'm talking about energy. How come that I'm so passionate about the topic of energy? And just to give you a little bit of a behind the curtain look. And that's why if you watch this on YouTube, I'm sitting as well in a different place. You see a little bit of garden behind me, and I'm looking forward to share a little bit more about me and my life journey so far and all about the topic of energy. So stay tuned. Let's get started. So how come that I like the topic of energy? I asked myself this question recently. I think I was out on a walk and I asked myself the question, can I even answer it? And that's how I came about to do this episode today, to share a little bit more about how it has come that I like energy and that I talk about it a lot, and why am I doing what I'm doing, and to answer it even for myself so I have clarity and can answer the question if anybody would ever ask me this question, which I hope they will. So I think I got in contact with energy quite early in my life. I remember that my parents got into Reiki when I was a young adult in my teenage age, and that's how I got introduced to a practice that uses energy and the universal energy. So they used it. I did experience a few treatments myself. I even learned to do it myself, but I never really used it. Over the last few decades, Reiki is a practice to use the universal energy that we all have access to heal yourself or to support others to heal themselves. It comes from Japan and I love it. It really helps to raise your energy levels, to really fuel your batteries if you need to, and to heal something on your body or to align your chakras as well. So over the last few decades, I used it mostly when I had like a little injury. If I bumped myself and I knew I would get a big bruise, or I burnt myself somewhere, I would hold my hand over it and I knew it would heal quicker. So that was probably the first time I got in touch with energy work. And then I think the next thing that I remember is that when the movies The Secret and What the Bleep Do We Know came out, I loved them. I loved them so much. I still have the books actually in my shelf. I loved the movies. I for sure watched them several times. I loved everything about the law of attraction, the quantum physics, everything that comes with it, and learning how to manifest. Again, I did not make a big thing out of it in my life, but I used the laws when I was aware of it. When I knew I wanted to manifest something, I would use the law of attraction for myself to give it a little bit more oomph and to use that power to bring it into my life. And in the area of manifestation, I have a few examples where it worked, and you sometimes just realize quite a bit later that you actually thought about something many, many years ago, and then suddenly it is in your life. So it works, and I did not use it really constantly or consciously. How I'm using it a little bit more now. I feel more secure now with it and applying it more into my life to manifest what I want in my life. What helped me as well to understand a little bit more of how I feel about the universe and the energy all around us was reading the books from Neale Donald Walsch. His books are called Conversations with God, and I've read probably nearly all of them. And what he helped me with is put what I believe into words. And that is my belief about the universe, and that we are experiencing several lives, not just the one, but that we come to this life to experience what we want to experience, and then in the next life we experience again something else. So reading the books of Neale really helped me to put it into words, what I believe in, and express myself better about it as well. So that was really a big part, I would say, of my development into the person I am today. The breakthrough of suddenly realizing that I wanted to get to know more about energy, to talk to people about it, was when I was diagnosed with burnout and I took myself out of my life for a week. I went away and spent time with myself. And that was a time when I knew already that maybe I wanted to build my own business, do my own thing and leave the corporate career. I was just not very clear yet what I wanted to do. I just was in the middle of completing a coaching qualification, and I wondered what I wanted to do with that, what I wanted to do if I built my own business. So I was in that week, I focused on getting better, and I talked about it before that I had a lot of realization in that week that really put me on the trajectory of becoming who I am today and overcoming burnout and transforming myself into a version that will never get burnout again. And I know that I think it was the first or the second day I meditated. I did an online course. It's called The Formula by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I was just so engaged in the topic of quantum physics and energy and manifestation and understanding the science behind meditation. And suddenly it hit me that if I am so engaged in that topic, if it's such a passion that I have on and off in my life for decades, why am I not doing that as part of my work? Why am I not doing what I love reading in my free time, or watching movies about, or investigating? Why am I not doing that full time as part of my work? So that was kind of the big breakthrough moment when I decided, okay, I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna build my own business while still working in the corporate career for a while. And the topic is gonna be energy. So that's when it kind of all came alive. But of course there were many instances before in my life where I got to know more about energy and how it influenced my life until then. Since then, I have developed the knowledge on energy significantly. Since then, of course, I'm meditating more regularly. For about a year, I meditated a few times per week, but I started to experience a few little things as well in my meditation, which has all to do with energy. I started to connect with new energies in my life, and what I experienced during my meditation had a direct impact, a direct energy as well on my life outside of the meditations. I was able to use more practices and the knowledge that I gained in my everyday life to raise my energy more, to have more energy, to increase my energy levels, but at the same time as well be more mindful of where I spend my energy and how I can protect my energy more from the outside environment, but as well from other people. And all of that knowledge that I started to acquire because I got really into it, I then applied into my life. I was still in the corporate career, and it was perfect because it was the same environment I was in before when I worked myself into the ground and got burned out. And now I came back and I was able to kind of compare it. What if I suddenly applied all of these learnings and started to use more energy principles and practices into my corporate job and working with the people who I worked with? So that's what I did, and the more I applied it, the better I felt, the more centered I felt, the more energized I was. I learned to stop spending energy on certain things, on certain people. I was able to protect my energy more. And again, through that application, of course, I learned even more. I saw it working. I collected the evidence in my own life. And that, of course, again, gave me security and trust in that everything around us is energy, and that I want to learn even more and apply more and more into it in my life. And then ultimately share it with you. That's when I started the podcast about 7 or 8 months ago, to share these learnings with you and to be able to help others to have more energy again in their life. I would say that I probably speak in the podcast to my older self, to somebody who has worked their whole life really hard to reach something, to build a career, to build a good life, which I did, but at the same time have lost connection to the energy that is all around us and spending the energy in the wrong places and maybe to the wrong intensity. So my podcast is about helping others who are in the same shoes, who feel a bit depleted in their lives, who might not have the joy in their life that they really want to, and help them again to apply what I learned, what I discovered, and what I applied, to do it as well in their life, so they can have more energy again back into their life. That's what I want for you. You are listening here on this podcast, and I'm doing this so you can apply all of my learnings and my experiences and what I hear as well from other people in this area, and you can do it for yourself. I want you to have more energy again and more joy in your life. If you have higher energy levels, if you have more energy in your life to use, you can get things better done. You can get things quicker done. And you can still do things, let's say, after work. You don't have to just fall onto the sofa and put the TV on. No, you suddenly have still energy to maybe start a new hobby, spend time with friends or family, and start bringing more joy and happiness back into your life, because that's why we're really here. We are in this life, we come to life to experience, and the ultimate state that we want to experience is love and happiness and joy and bliss and ecstasy. These are the energetic vibrations that we want to experience. And yes, we need to experience sometimes as well the opposite. This is a world we're living in that is the duality, where there is one side and the other. And for us to experience one thing, we need to understand as well what the other thing is. But we're not in this world to just experience feelings of frustration and being tired all the time and having all the time thoughts and feelings of shame or guilt and living constantly in a stressful survival environment. That's not why we're here. But I think Well, that's minimum what happened to me, and probably to a lot of other people. That becomes status quo. That just becomes your life, and you just can't get yourself out of it. You just don't know how. And that was me for the longest time. And I want to help you to get yourself out of that, to snap out of it. Well, a snap is a very good description, but that's not how quickly it goes. But it works. The more you apply it, the more you trust that it can work. What I'm telling you in all of my episodes, the more you will collect the evidence in your life, the more you will experience being more energized again and being able to bring more happiness, joy, and love back into your life. You know, you can have a career, you can have the career that you're currently having, you can even have something better if you want to, and you can feel energized, and you can have it all without any stress, and you can have it all at the same time as feeling relaxed and calm and peaceful. It's all possible. I have learned how to do it, and that's why I started the podcast, to teach you how to do it as well. If we can all be more calm, be more relaxed in our lives, have more joy, enjoy ourselves just much more, can you imagine how the world would look like? And that's probably the thought in my head, why I'm doing this, why I'm talking about energy, why I'm doing the podcast. I wanted just to share a little bit more why I'm doing it, why I'm always talking about energy, why my podcast is called Raise Your Energy. Now you know a little bit more. Yeah, what's coming next? What am I working on myself at this moment? I am actually writing my first book. I'm very excited. It is all about how I overcame my burnout and how I transformed myself into a version that will never burn out again. I want to help others to do the same and to get out of this rut of working yourself into the ground and seeing again how awesome life can actually be. So I'm in the middle of writing the book, and I'm really looking forward, hopefully later this year, to publish it. Then I'm still concentrating as well very much on my meditations. Meditating is now such an intricate part of my life. I do it minimum once per day because I know how much it has helped me so far, and I know how much more it will help me in the future with how I'm feeling, with how I can bring more of what I'm feeling in the meditations into my everyday life. And that's again why I want to create more meditations to help you do the same. Through the practice of meditation, you can bring a lot of the learnings that I talk about in my podcast and in the future book. You can bring it to life with a really good and solid meditation practice. You can do it as well without meditation, but it will just accelerate. It makes it quicker because you're not forcing it just in this world. No, when you go into a meditative state, you're connected as well to the universal energy and to the quantum field. And when you do the work there, you make it quicker happen in this physical world. So you're speeding up, you're giving it more energy, you're getting more energy. And that's why I want you as well to meditate. That's why I talk about it all the time. And that's why I create purposeful meditations. I love meditations that have a purpose. I love to meditate and get something done at the same time. That's why I started creating these meditations with a purpose, for you to either transform, for you to connect more with yourself, for you to raise your self-love in yourself. And I want to do more of that. So some of you might already have some of my meditations, and we're for sure going to link again to the meditations and the website in the show notes. And that's what I'm going to do as well over the next coming months, create more of these meditations that help you to bring this all to your life more quickly, so you can have the joy and the happiness and the love that you deserve, because you deserve it all. Yes, you do. Okay, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed a little bit more this format and me sharing about my life, my experience and where I'm coming from. I will probably do more of that in the future to share as well more of my journey and where I'm going. And yeah, with that, as always, I love you and leave you. Talk soon and bye bye.